Good morning, everyone. Welcome to
Morning.
Unity Feel. And today is October the 1st. I am not sure how it got to be October the 1st, but there we are. So as we come together in this gathering of souls, let us remind ourselves of the mission of Unity Halton Peel, to lovingly inspire transformation and be of service to the world. And if I could do two things and ask you to please mute yourselves, and I will also ask Margaret to read our daily word.
Thank you, Wendy. For Sunday, October the 1st, prosperity. Practicing gratitude deepens my experience of prosperity. My life may be full of blessings, my family and friends, my home, my memories and experiences. But it can be easy to take it for granted if I focus more on what I'm missing rather than what I have. Being thankful, expressing my gratitude for my good opens my heart, but it also opens eyes to many ways I am prosperous. I count my blessings, pausing to give thanks for each one. The more often I do this, the more feelings of gratitude will fill my heart. Crowding out constricting feelings of scarcity, fear, or envy. From the serenity I feel in my heart to the peace that calms my mind, I am prosperous. As I greet each day with a prayer of thanks, my blessings abound. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. Psalm 36, verse 8. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. All right. This first song I've chosen is actually a brand new one. We recently had World Day of Prayer back in September, and at the conclusion of it, or for it, Karen Drucker wrote a new song and gave everybody permission to share it. So I'm sharing. I hope you like it.
I open. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. I open my heart to all the possibilities. I open my heart, and I know when I surrender and trust and breathe in gratitude, I When I open my heart, I am here. I am here. I open my heart to healing in this moment. I open my heart to love. To love. I open my heart to healing in this moment. When I open my heart, I am healed. When I open my heart, I am healed. When I open my heart, I am healed. 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 I am healed.
I am loving this song. Our second song, unfortunately, I don't have the lyrics. I had a busy week and didn't get time to transcribe them. Summer Osborne will be the featured musician at our Canadian conference on the 14th of this month. And this is becoming my favorite of hers. It's called As I Am. It's the title track from the same album.
I am here. I am whole as I am. I am saved. I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. And I'm as perfect as can be. I am here. I am whole as I am. Nothing can illuminate the darkness like a serenade. Nothing can make peace like a song. We've got a ways to go, but then we're closer than we've ever been. So let's walk together on and on. I am here. I am whole as I am. I am saved. I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. And I'm as perfect it soon will take hold, become a truth that's taught for generations, generations, generations. I am here, I am home as I am. I am safe, I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. Oh, I am grateful. I'm as perfect as can be. I'm perfect. I am here. I am whole as I am. Oh, as I am. I am here. I am whole as I am. I am safe. I am loved as I am. I am grateful and I'm free. I'm so grateful. And I'm as perfect as can be. There is nothing wrong with me. I am here. I am whole as I am. Oh, just as I am. I am here. I am whole as I am. I am here.
Ah, loving that song. As I am. So this is the month of October, which means we get a new spiritual faculty. And the spiritual faculty for October is zeal. And for me, this can be kind of an iffy one. I'm a strong introvert, so I'm not generally noted as a zealous person. I'm not particularly known for being excited about stuff in the way that some of my friends are. But I reminded myself of our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, whose photo you see on the screen. And he wrote an affirmation in his 94th year. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. And if you can't read his writing, there you go. And it became something of a joke when I was in training to become a licensed Unity teacher. We'd ask each other, are you sizzling? And usually the answer would be almost. Sometimes it can take a bit to get going. And I especially notice at this time of year as the days shorten and we get darker earlier and, there's not as much light. And when I was working, it always bothered me that I was indoors away from windows for the sunlight because I'd arrive in the dark and I'd leave in the dark in this time. So how do we get about finding that spiritual faculty of zeal? I don't mean the part that wants to tell you all about how the Blue Jays did or didn't do over the weekend. I don't mean the part that gets excited when your favorite movie star, releases a new movie. I don't mean when, a political party has a platform that you can really get on board with. I mean spiritual zeal, and I'll give you some examples in a moment. But let's just talk about when Charles Fillmore developed these 12 powers. He talked about having a space in the body, having a place where it resided. And this is the one that makes the most sense to me. Others do. Love in your heart, that makes a lot of sense. But your zeal faculty is back here. And whenever I do something that I don't want to do and I'm trying to force it, I'll get a headache right there. If I'm feeling pushed by something or I'm feeling frustrated by something, I will get a pain right there. I will know, okay, my zeal is out of balance right now, and I need to take some breaths and maybe some quiet time and get back into a center where my spiritual zeal and its human outworking are back in balance again. So this radiates our energy to accomplish good. I love how they've captured this child, in a moment of joy. And I think that's been the problem for me, is that for me, zeal was about the zealots, who were a class of priestly men in the Bible. And they were very, particular, I guess I would say, about how things were done. I think of people around me. I can think of a couple people who I limit my time with them. I love them, and I find their zeal a bit overwhelming at times. I don't know if any of you have had that same experience. But learning how to blend our two aspects of our zeal together can be very useful, especially as we can change our languaging from an understanding from something that might be seen as negative, that might be seen as unhealthy, to something that actually supports us and encourages us and allows us to move forward. So as always, this is based on the booklet, Your God-Given Gifts. I will give you the link because we've got it available for free download at our website. So as always, there are 7 steps. Again, I've said it, I don't know how many times this year. It's not a lateral or a linear progression. It's kind of a roller coaster at times. You can move forward, you can move backwards, make it a dance, add a couple twirls. So our first level, for want of a better word, is dissatisfaction. That's the point at which we realize deep inside ourselves something isn't right. Something isn't making us happy. Something isn't bringing us joy. Something there's a lack there that needs to be filled. And that awareness allows us to bring ourselves into, okay, the human side, being 100% in that isn't really working for me. So what if I give myself permission, because the ego is going to say, no, you don't want to. I'm the boss here. That you say to your ego, okay, we're just going to try a little bit of a spiritual experiment. Okay. And you can go and complain and say, I want to be in charge, but we're going to just take this and move forward. Move into a desire. A lot of what zeal has is its underpinning is engaged in desire. And I do not mean that in a sexual way, just to be clear. It's not a physicality. It's that part of us that longs to be in relationship, that longs to have a roof over our head that's comfortable, that protects us from the elements, that keeps us warm in the winter and cool in the summer. That desire for healthy food that feeds our body in physical ways and creates new cells and recreates ourselves in that way. And the desire that, perhaps you want to see the pyramids of Egypt, that understanding at a human level that there's something more that we want. And at a spiritual level, there's also that desire for calm, that desire for peace, that desire to be aware at a greater level of our oneness, not only with each other, but with the spiritual ethers. Call it God. I was about to go into a song here. Call it Buddha, call it Allah, call it Hashem, whatever that nameless, spiritual, eternal, universal, whatever it is, because I've yet to find a word in the English language or even a phrase of words that describe the divine. So we're going to use divine because I don't know what else to use. And I recognize for some people, words like God can be triggering. Words like goddess can even be triggering. And I personally, where you are is perfect. But we have that desire, we have that awareness within ourselves that we want more. And not in a grabby, but that we're aware that we've been, as a number of songs talk about, that someone's taken to a room and shown all the blessings that they didn't receive because they didn't ask for them. They didn't open themselves up to receive. The next step is dedication. Remember, I was talking about the ego a couple seconds ago? Ego is going to come up every so often. Ego is going to come up and say, well, let's be zealous about me, about whatever gives me that rush of endorphin or mental brain chemistry, that part that makes me feel good. Spirituality sometimes can be challenging. So keeping ourselves dedicated, keeping that kind of, I think of it like a hybrid car. It always has a certain level of battery running. And that's like our zeal. It's that oomph. And how do we get into that? We dedicate ourselves. We make ourselves that commitment that we will be aware, that we will be mindful, that perhaps we will adjust our schedule to ensure that we get 10 minutes of meditation or quiet time or silence or walking meditation, something that brings us into that space before we start our day, and perhaps the same at the end of the day, that we are dedicated to exploring our spiritual side, exploring and expanding that, whether it's with books or talks like this, or attending a class, or just being silent and listening to what is coming from within. Never repress the impulse, the force, the zeal welling up within you. I think that's one of my challenges, is because I can get really excited about stuff, but it's usually stuff that other people don't get excited about. Like for me, reading scriptures, whether it's in the Christian Bible or in the Torah, in Jewish translations to English, or reading the Bhagavad Gita, or reading the Dead Sea Scroll materials, I can get excited about that. And I know other people don't, and that's fine. But I have a zeal for that. That's something that feeds me. That's something that gets me excited, because it's a nice balance. I can find the spiritual lessons, and I can learn some history, and I can learn about other people and how they might have lived and what they believed. So it's this blending of the two, the human and the spiritual. And let your zeal be tempered with wisdom. Just kind of being tangentially aware of what's happening in the world. Sometimes people get really zealous, but they haven't tempered it with wisdom. They haven't taken that step back to say, is this the best choice for me? Is this the best choice for the people around me? Is this the best choice for my city, for my town, for my county, for my world? And just to find that. We talked about wisdom previously. So if you're watching on YouTube, go back and find my talk on that. But finding that balance too between the faculties, and finding that space where we're not just running off, in all directions, but we're tempering that wisdom, that zeal with wisdom, so that we're not getting out of control. The next 4 I've kind of put together because, as always, we hit what the power in this description at the middle, where we've gotten to the point where we've put in enough practice, spiritually and humanly, that we have a greater understanding of zeal. It's become a part of us. We don't have to think so much about it. We might have to think a little bit, but it's not as onerous as it was in steps 2 or 3. And now we can allow that to come out of us. We can give ourselves permission, particularly those of us who kind of shy away, or who were raised in a family of origin where your emotions were to be fairly calm and just steady. and not go up and down too much. I think that's part of the heritage for many of us, that stiff upper lip and all that. But allowing ourselves permission to get excited about things, to be engaged with things. A quickening, meaning that it's becoming greater in ourselves. And it might even be pushing that old ego out to a certain extent, that it becomes more and more a part of us, and we think less and less about it. It's almost instinctual. I haven't quite figured out the difference between spiritual and an instinctual, and maybe it's just two words for the same thing. Genius. Genius is one of those words that has many meanings, but it can also mean a new start. And we can consider that when we're at this point, we are so engaged with our spiritual zeal that it's second nature, that it actually is like, someone explained this to me once, and I said to her, I hope you realize I'm going to borrow this. It's like we're at a point of sending off a rocket. Now, I'm old enough to remember, the Saturn rockets with their sections that fell off and another fire lit to push the astronauts further into space. But even now, zeal is like that initial thruster rocket. If you don't have that initial oomph, you won't escape the gravity that you need to get to the space station, or to get to the moon, or to get to wherever folks are wanting to go. You need that oomph. You need that quickening, that energy to move you forward. And of course, energy is that final step where you are zeal, where you have manifested that so much in yourself that it's not thinking anymore. It just is. Not there yet. 7th level is mastery. And I don't know, maybe once or twice I've had an oomph that got me out of the pull of gravity. Not sure, but that's okay, because I'm still here, so that means I still have lessons to learn. Zeal is the impulse to go forward, the urge behind all things. When I think of zeal now, I think of two things. I think of that urge to do things. And it doesn't have to be, I think we use so much words around zealous. We tend to use it around philosophies or political platforms, that people are zealous about that, or a social justice concept. And it can have a negative connotation. I'm not saying that it does, but it can develop a negative connotation over time. But if we can bring ourselves back into what is the positive side, what is that we can benefit from being in our zeal, that urge to behind all things to go forward. To be with zeal is to be without the zest of living. And that's from Charles, of course. And I love that they put this against jelly beans, because there are some colors of jelly beans flavors of jelly beans I don't like. Just being honest. But I can get excited if someone says, would you like to share them with me? And we can have that moment and have that little discussion about, I like the black ones. Well, I'm not too keen on them. In your life, make sure you find friends who like the jelly beans that you don't, because you'll always be happy. But to have that zest, what is zest also? Zest is that very thin peel of a citrus fruit. We use in marmalade, or we sugar it and make it a treat. And it's so sweet, and it has that tang of sourness, but it's that balance between the citrus and the sweet. So too with our zeal, finding that balance. So I have a wonder for the week. I haven't done this in a while. I was thinking, why haven't I been doing this? But it came to me that it was time for one. So what brings you joy or excitement, or both? What brings you, what is it that when you think about, even if you're not about to do it, it brings you joy? As we were listening to Summer's song, that picture of the labyrinth at Unity Village, I took. And as I was listening to Summer and trying to sing along with her, I was feeling joyful because Summer was one of our main musicians at convention. So I was reliving those experiences of being in a huge room of Unity folk, being with my peeps at Unity at the hotel and walking the labyrinth a couple times while I was there. And so it brought me that sense of, I'm feeling those emotions from that time. I'm having that zeal of, that was a great time, and I can still relive it in my mind and my heart as I'm looking at pictures or smelling things. Certain smells, they can really bring you joy. If it's something that, I was in a store and they were handing out free samples, and I walked by it and I went, I'm back in my great grandma's house. Why am I in my great grandma's house? And the scent of that particular cleanser was something like what she used. So what brings me joy or excitement? It doesn't have to be something that you plan. It doesn't have to be something that you have to wait for. You don't have to wait to be in Egypt looking at the pyramids in person to feel joy about them, to feel excitement about them. You can do it right here, right now. So part 2 of the question is, if that thing that brings you joy or excitement isn't part of your life right now, is there a way to include either it specifically or something similar? As I said, my mind, I was walking the labyrinth as we listened to Summer's song. And I know I will be going back next year. I've already prepaid for next year's convention. And in the meantime, I don't have to sit and go, oh, poor me, I can't imagine the labyrinth anymore. I can find ways. There's a labyrinth in town that I can go and use. I can walk a labyrinth in my mind's eye. That's something that brings me a lot of joy. And it's kind of funny because when I do a labyrinth, I try to do it in a meditative state, but there's this excitement that I'm there. Somebody said to me, do you realize how fast you walk in a labyrinth? And I said, no, I have a walking pace that for me, I'm doing some affirmations, I'm doing some breathing, and my feet are just keeping up with those 2 things. And it's perfect for me. And I think you can tell I get excited about walking labyrinths. Now, labyrinth walking isn't for everybody. I get that. What is it for you? And because we're all individuals, because we are all unique, I will be willing to bet that someone, whether in the Zoom room today or on YouTube or Facebook later, will say, oh, I don't do labyrinths, but I love to. And if I could hear what you said, would say for I love to, I might say, not for me. I have friends who love snakes. I'm not big on snakes. I respect them. I will not go out of my way to kill them or anything like that, but I will give them good space. And I can understand that my excitement, my zeal around that connection to a labyrinth is equal to and equally engaging as someone's love for a snake. So what is it? So this is your challenge for this week, is to identify what brings you joy or and excitement, or both. And if it's something you haven't been doing, find a way to add it to your life. There are so many travel YouTube videos right now. If it's about traveling, go and watch one of those, see what comes up in your heart. Because as that comes up, it's bringing both. It's bringing that joy of the human experience, that joy of seeing something, touching something, hearing something, smelling something, tasting something, that sense-based consciousness. It's bringing it in with that spiritual desire to feel joy, to be in oneness, to be in alignment with our divine selves. And with that, let us prepare for our meditation. Getting comfortable, however works for you. Comfortable for me is just sitting normally. And this is our affirmation to take into our prayer time with us. I ignite my zeal by focusing on what brings me joy. And perhaps that's a change in the use of the word zeal for you. That it's not about pushing mine, but rather being open to what brings me joy and allowing that to flow out to the rest of the world. And as I am wont to say, paraphrasing a favorite poem, I was upset about the past and I was worrying about the future. And then I became aware of a consciousness that reminded me that my name is not I was, and my name is not I will be, but my truest name is I am. And living in this now moment, bringing ourselves into this now moment, giving ourselves permission to allow the past and the future to be in their respective places. We can go back for whatever we needed from the past, and we will wait for whatever comes in the future. But just to be in this now moment. And I invite you to take a few breaths, allowing worries and concerns and regrets to just come out of the cells of your body. Just release them to the best of your ability. And as we join together, we recognize our zeal for spiritual understanding. And we honor and give thanks those who have brought us to this time, this place, this moment. Those who have served as mentors, those who have shared their joy and excitement and taught us and brought out from us our own inner joy, our own inner zeal, our own ability to say yes with enthusiasm. And for those who might have tamped down our zeal, whether in a church of origin, our family of origin, our education, societal norms, we pause. We bless them for doing the best they could with what they knew. And we just allow those memories to be healed. To let go of the pain, the shame, the blame, and the judgment. To the best of our ability in this moment. Perhaps we can't do it all, and that's fine. We do as much as is comfortable in this moment, knowing that as we unfold our spirituality in greater and greater ways, that these will come up again from additional purification and cleansing. And that as we bring our joy and our zeal into the picture, we are able to bring that joy and zeal and enthusiasm to the world. And let us hold the world, seeing it filled with zeal for oneness, for healing, for prosperity, for wholeness. And in this consciousness, we give grateful thanks for this time, for this permission to be in this moment. And so it is, and so I am. Amen.
enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life. Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God. You are the place. Moves and breathes and has we are the place where God shows up. I am the place. I am the place where God. You are the place.
As I said in the talk, you can download the booklet, Discover Your God-Given Potential, at our website. Click on the resources, drop down to the 12 powers, and then click here to download the PDF. I have found it a wonderful resource in my life. I realize 12 powers aren't for everybody, and that's okay. I happen to be quite zealous about them. As always, our prayer chaplains are available. praywithdiane@gmail.com. And thank you, Diane, for being on the call and holding sacred space as we have been gathering. Once your request has been received, we do send it to our confidential Unity Halton Peel prayer team. And then it is sent to Silent Unity, which has been praying 24/7 for over 130 years. And it is held in prayer graciously and lovingly there. Speaking of prayer, affirmative prayer circles every Friday from 9:55 to 10:30 Eastern. You can reach out to Debbie Leland, who is a licensed Unity teacher, pastoral care candidate, and this is her practicum for her licensing, which will come next year. So I invite you to reach out to her. This has been a great opportunity for us to get to know each other across Canada and beyond our borders. As always, please visit our website. We have so many things coming up and lots of information about weekly events, not only across Canada, but just locally as well. And as always, thank you in advance for your financial support of this ministry. We are 100% self-funded, and so every gift is gratefully received. And let us just take a moment to bless and appreciate that we are the receiver and the giver, that we receive our good through a variety of channels, acknowledging that there is only one source, that everything comes through as energy manifested into matter. and that we are the givers. We give of our time, our talent, our treasure, not only to this ministry, but to other ministries, to our families, to our communities, to our world. And that no gift is too small. What is most important is the zeal behind it, the enthusiasm, the joy, and the gratitude. And for these gifts, we are so grateful. And so it is. As always, we are a tithing ministry, and we continue to support Eden Food for Change. You can go to their website to find out more about them. Upcoming speakers, Debbie Long is on next week, followed by Reverend Barbara, and then Reverend Dr. Jane, and finally at the end of the month, Reverend Mary Wood will be returning for a Sunday. Ongoing Canadian event, Doing Autumn Well. This week we're going to talk, I believe, about Thanksgiving, because that is coming. Sheila May is finding a wonderful balance of what we have had outside of the Christian community and what we have celebrated within the Christian community, and finding a way of bringing unity into that whole mix. Coming very soon, Saturday the 14th from 1 p.m. Eastern, probably till about 5 o'clock, so dinner time. That's the joy of being in Canada. We have to, or no, we don't have to, we choose to make our events available at reasonable hours for those on the West and East Coasts. Our keynote speaker will be Indira Huerta. She is a colleague of mine, and she's going to be talking about the spirit groups and how we can use those to expand our community and reach out to more people. And as I said earlier, summer will be our songsters. Upcoming, starting Monday the 16th, our own Debbie Long will be teaching a class on meditation. For those of you who are looking to become a licensed Unity teacher or minister, this is a required course, so please sign up. For those of you who don't want to take an academic class, this is not an academic class. You are welcome, most welcome, to come and sit in and participate and not have to write any assignments or do anything, but just to come and soak up what Debbie has to give. She and I have been talking, and I'm really thrilled and excited about what she is proposing to do. So more details at the Unity Canada website, which you can see in the upper corner, or you can reach out to me at courses@unitycanada.com for more details or to register. Coming up a little later in the month, we will be having Super Saturdays, which is 5 weeks of 2 classes back to back. I'm going to be teaching overview of Hebrew scriptures. And yes, I am zealous about this. I love teaching Bible stuff, especially the overview courses where we explore the culture of the time, how we got these scriptures handed down through the generations, and what it all means and how we can find ways of making it relevant to us today. Again, you can just sit in and learn some things. Not quite as experiential as Debbie's class, but I'm hoping that everyone will come away with a tidbit or two that helps them understand not only unity better, but perhaps some of the Judeo-Christian traditions that underpin much of our society in North America. And I will be followed by Reverend Rosemary Hyde. She will be completing the metaphysics course. Again, you're welcome to sit in, and more details at the website. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'm partially thinking, oh my goodness, this is coming soon. And isn't it wonderful to be back in the flow of learning? Jumping ahead, the 2023 Unity Advent booklet is now available. You can download a PDF file or request a paper copy at unity.org. And I've already booked the Zoom room. We are going to have weekly discussion group beginning Wednesday, November 29th at 2 p.m. And all are welcome. And we'll just go through the booklet and see what it has to say and discuss, what Christmas means to us. And I know it's not even Thanksgiving yet. But hey, the stores were putting up Christmas, so why not? Let's go the correct way. Madam President, before we bless the children, anything I've missed?
All good, Wendy. You've got it covered.
Thank you. All right, let us take a moment and bless our children. I am blessed that I live across from a park that has a swing set and lots of lots of gym equipment and a soccer field or two. And just hearing the children when I've got my windows open, and their zeal and their enthusiasm and their joy for life and for play and for participating in events and for being out of the classroom for recess. So let us just see our children in our mind's eye. And together we say, children and youth of unity and of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And for the parents and grandparents out there, I concur. If we could bottle up their enthusiasm and sell it, we would all be millionaires. And as we bring our gathering to a close, let us use the words of James Dillard Freeman. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And now we'll have Sue Riley sing us out. Thank you for joining us today.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Thank you again for joining us today. Have a blessed week.